Hey, what's up you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. I've been reminiscing about some of the bands I've played with in the years past, and it got me thinking about how much I improved as a guitarist playing and touring with those groups. Before we get going, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe right here to Marty Music, and make sure you ring the bell to see more videos like this one, and thanks for the support. Now, I'm sure a lot of you started out just like I did, with your guitar skills being contained to the four walls of your bedroom. You spent time with the tabs, the tones, and the tunes that allowed you to achieve an intermediate level of playing, and that's fantastic. There's absolutely nothing wrong with practicing on your own. Even the greatest guitarists out there still do. Generally speaking, there's nothing wrong with flying solo if that's what you prefer. There are still tons of benefits to learning a musical instrument on your own. Since music excites both the analytical and creative parts of your mind, it's one of the few activities that acts like a full-body workout for the brain. Mastering an instrument can actually make you smarter. There's been scientific studies that show it raises IQs, increases spatial temporal intelligence, improves memory, develops creativity, which is amazing. But there are additive benefits if you're learning your instrument with other people. So get out there and join a band! One of the most eye-opening experiences for me as a musician was my first rehearsal with a group of other players. Keeping up with everyone was hard enough, but I also had to hone my non-verbal communication and understand where to give and where to take, all while making sure my technical skills were up to snuff. Even if you don't mean to, it's easy to get complacent about your progress if you're not constantly being challenged by the progress of others. We humans have a competitive nature. It may be our survival of the fittest mentality, but there's no denying that if you see the drummer nail an awesome fill or the bassist master a difficult run, you'll probably have a greater desire to keep up. Bandmates can bring a wide variety of experiences and skill levels to the table. In a way, you're all learning and growing as musicians together, feeding off of each other's strengths and learning from each other's weaknesses. And on top of that, you have 4 or 5 people all consuming and learning different types of music. Even if they're all listening to the same artists, they'll each get something different out of it. When these individual experiences come together in a band, what that group produces is often greater than what each musician could make on their own. This is almost always the case with some of the greatest bands out there. Each of the Beatles had successful solo careers, but there's no doubt that they made their best stuff when they were the Beatles. It was that combination of John's edginess, Paul's musical theaterness, George's psychedelicness, and Ringo's Ringo-ness that made them the incredible group that they were. Now, I'm not saying that just because you join a band, you're going to be the next Beatles. Those guys were amazingly talented in their own right, but even they'll tell you the way they got as good as they did was by playing a bunch of crappy gigs throughout Europe. There are also some kind of boring but still super important non-musical skills you can gain from being in a band. It teaches you accountability and responsibility. You have to go to rehearsal, maybe play some gigs, be on time, and be prepared. If you're just playing on your own, the temptation to give up is much greater because other people aren't counting on you. Many of my default work habits were developed during my time with a band. My coworkers now are kind of like a band in a way. We all have different things we bring to the table to accomplish a goal greater than ourselves. Even if you don't become a full-time working musician, you can still learn quite a few practical skills just by joining a musical group. Ultimately, there's something special about locking into a groove with another musician. There's nothing quite like it. It's cool to play along with a track or just jam by yourself with your looper pedal, but the feeling of grooving with a group of other players, knowing that you're contributing to a sound that's greater than what you're producing on your own, is pretty incredible. There's something that's inherently unteachable when it comes to playing an instrument, and that's what us music people call feel or groove. All different genres of music have a unique feel. This is measurable to an extent, but oftentimes folks just have to develop a talent for it on their own. Sure, you can learn it by yourself, but playing with others is the perfect catalyst for mastering feel. As a guitarist, it's easier to understand the ebb and flow of the music, allowing you to build up your rhythmic and melodic vocabulary much faster than you might on your own. Still, I think it's incredibly important to practice your skills and drills with a metronome. As I said in my video on mastering your practice time, playing music is creative, but mastering the guitar is not. It's a skill like math or chess. Make sure you still practice that way and use those skills to master the more creative aspects of your playing with your bandmates. You might not be Eric Clapton overnight, but practicing effectively and joining a band will allow you to more quickly become a well-rounded musician. Are you in a band? Do you feel like what I'm saying is true to your experience? Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe right here to Marty Music. Thanks again. We'll see you real soon.